do a quick live. I haven't been doing lives recently, and I've been planning on jumping back on and doing a few more with you guys. Let me sit up a little bit straight, fix my shirt, fix myself up, which I should have done before I got on here. Yeah, so just thought I would jump on this evening and do a little bit of talking. Now, normally, again, if any of you have been watching my channel, I'm looking my eye lines here, right. I normally talk about acting, directing, and editing. So I have recently, within the past 3 months, I guess, started adding in artificial intelligence because I use artificial intelligence to generate video and learned a lot. Been talking about it, been creating videos, content for you guys about artificial intelligence and video production. So I learned a lot. I'm thinking that's going to be my next level of concentration in the area of filmmaking. I see a lot of new people using the artificial intelligence to create films, and a lot of people don't have a real film background. So they don't understand what's missing, what is missing when you're trying to create a film with artificial intelligence. They've never directed actors, they've never worked with actors. Obviously, they haven't been actors, so they don't know what an actor does. They don't know how important an actor is. I'm getting a lot of mosquitoes out here. But they get on with artificial intelligence and they start creating content. And they expect it to be something that people can follow with a story. Just because artificial intelligence can create these characters doesn't mean that these characters are going to be able to convey the message of a story as actors do. I'm only going to talk a little bit, just a little introduction of what I plan to talk more about. I should have started earlier today. I'm outside on the front porch. Didn't feel like bringing any lights out. So I thought I would just jump on and see if there's any interest in this topic, because this is a topic that's really, like I said, I've been working with the artificial generated video for the last 3 months, a little bit over 3 months. Worked with mostly all of the programs, created a lot of content. And again, the thing that it's missing are the actors. We're able to create actors with the artificial intelligence video. They can mimic what an actor would do. They can mimic what an actor will say. They can mimic what, expressions or emotions. And the biggest thing, another big thing, is the limitation that you have. You can't get constant characters. No matter how much you see on here, oh, we've broke the secret for constant characters, that's BS. You will, maybe a couple of times you'll get a consistent character, but you're not going to consistently get the same exact character throughout the whole program. And as you regenerate, you're being charged for those credits. Most of these programs work with what they call credits, and that's really not even spelled out clearly. How much, depending upon what resolution you're working at, depending upon the length, depending upon so many variables. And the choice of the credit is left up to, obviously, to the system. And even if it gives you something that's totally wrong, that totally is unusable, you're still charged for it. So there are a lot of systems out there. Again, like I said, this is all beta. This is all the beginning. I started working with it because I found it interesting. I have a project, my final project for now. I said a few weeks ago, before I took my little short hiatus, that I'm going to suspend my artificial video generation work for just a short while. And I'm going to wait to see who or what system gives me more of what I need. And I'm coming to the realization that, coming from a background as a director and an actor, I don't really foresee anytime soon I will be able to get content that I'm happy with from these programs, because these artificially generated actors and actresses can't give me what I need as far as when I'm directing. I'm just talking the basics of prompting, trying to get them to walk get them to walk across the room, or sit in a chair, or pick up a glass and drink. There's just so much. There's so much limitations to it. I find the most realistic version that I've worked with so far is Sora 2. But that's under OpenAI. And I've been watching a lot of videos recently about the troubles they're having over at OpenAI. They're going to start putting ads. Excuse me, got a lot of mosquitoes trying to get me. They got to let me turn this light on. One moment. Give me a second. Sorry about that interruption. I didn't realize how dark it was getting so quickly. I turned on the porch light, and also hopefully the porch light will take some of the mosquitoes away from me and send them over there to the porch light. So, but anyway, back to me just riffing on artificial intelligence video generation. So again, I've been using it. I've been diving deep into it. I've created a very long web series here on YouTube, a series called Tammy the Writer, the Actress and Writer, Tammy the Actress and Writer. And so I learned a lot. Basically, that's the bottom line. Trying and struggling and generating and regenerating and paying. I even went to the highest tier, the highest paid tier of OpenAI, so that I would have access to the highest level of Sora, and that did not solve my problem either. I still had, obviously, restrictions of what I can and can't do. I had restrictions on what I can generate, and I'm not trying to generate porn or anything like that. I'm trying to generate, PG-13 content, and I'm not allowed to do that. So it's just one level of frustration upon the other. When things start to go smooth, then the character will change. When locations change, wardrobe changes. So it's actually maddening, really, to be honest with you. I kept going because it allows you to create content that would be out of my budget range at this point in my independent filmmaking career. So I'm hoping that some advances come along quickly. Some advances come along where artificial generated video is really usable. And honestly, the bottom line right now, it's not. You can't control the characters. Once the character does what you want them to do, then there's just still. There's nothing going on. Even if you try to prompt it where the character has some type of reactions, they can't do internal reactions because you can barely get them to do the external reactions. You can barely get them to do what you want on the surface level. So going deeper is not possible. And as a director, as an actor, it's frustrating because I can see the potential. But it's nowhere near what would be needed to create a realistic program. It's not even near the level of animation that you can get on a cable cartoon where, you can show reactions of actors. You can show reactors of characters if it's a cartoon. So a lot of the artificial intelligence, you can't do that. You'd have to try to prompt a different shot. And then if you prompt that shot, something in that frame may change. The character's looks, the character's clothes. There may be something in the frame that changes if you try to prompt a look just to fill in or a reaction maybe. So I've tried everything. I tried everything I could think of, breaking the shots down to where, they're what I was calling micro shots, where I would storyboard the frames and decide where I would break it so that I could try and manipulate the characters to generate the footage I needed. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Most of the time it didn't. So it's just very, very, very frustrating. I haven't given up on it. Like I said, I didn't say at the top of this video, I didn't say I am not going to continue to do it. I'm going to give it some time and continue to watch videos and see other people out there who are using it and maybe having success, and then look into what their success is, what software there are, and see where I think the realism that's needed to even make a short film. If you look at a lot of the content, go to my channel. You'll see the link below. Go to my channel and look at some of the stuff I made. It's not horrible, but it's all flawed. To be honest, every episode I made has flaws, and sometimes I could edit around the flaws. I could cover the flaws. I even started near the end, before I took my pause from working with artificially generated video. What I did was I started using stock footage for my transitional elements. And that worked out great. I thought that was a really good idea, and that works nice. So anybody out there who wants to keep going, you can try that. That brings a level of realism back to the project you're making. I saw a video the other night of a young guy. He's shooting content, but also planning where he's going to put the artificial generated video, which is a great idea because he's using artificial generated video to supplement his real camera footage working with real actors. So that's just like using CG, character generation, that's been going on for time immemorial. But I like that idea. That's an approach I haven't tried yet. Let me grab a quick sip of water. So pardon my rough my rough lives. I'm deciding I'm going to get on here and just talk to you guys. I've been trying a lot of different techniques, different approaches that I learned from some of the YouTube gurus who I don't like to follow much. I take advice from them that I think is appropriate, and I use that where necessary. But I see a lot of people on here who have content, and they just get on there and talk. They tell you about it. And that's what I plan to start doing now. I want to try to do these lives more, and not really going to have anything planned out. Going to jump on here. I'm going to start having my iPad with me. I just got a new iPad about a month ago, and I'm glad to be back in the cult of Apple. I'll tell you a little story. I had moved away from Apple for a while. Wow. And it was a long time ago, probably like 10 years ago. I was a full-on Apple guy. I started out editing in the early days of nonlinear editing with PC, and quickly realized that there was a software called Edit DV, and that was primarily Apple's. I think that was primarily an Apple software, but I think it might be dual. It was dual, and for some reason I got my first iMac DV Special Edition, and I remember I was so happy, and I had less problems editing digital video. So that's what moved me over to Apple, and from then on, I was always an Apple. Went through all the big towers and all that kind of expensive gear and all that kind of stuff. And then when Final Cut Pro was dumbed down by Apple, I moved back to Premiere. So after that, I started slowly migrating back to the PC, and for past 10 or 12 years, more than 10 years, I've been editing on PC, and slowly starting to move back to the Mac. I started to dip my toe in with the iPad, and I do a little. They have an iPad version of Final Cut. Excuse me. They have an iPad version of. Is it? Wow, I can't think of what it is now. But the Apple editing software on my iPad. Can't remember what it is now. But I signed up with that, and I like it. It's very simplistic. I really can't do anything more than very rough cuts. So I use that to do my rough cuts sometimes, but mostly I still edit right now with Premiere Pro, and I'm a diehard Premiere Pro guy. And one of these days soon, I might move back to doing more editing on the Mac with Premiere Pro. I don't foresee myself ever going back to Final Cut fully, but I'm on. I think I'm on. I don't know why I can't remember what's on my Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro. It might be iPad version of. I can't remember, and I don't know why. I'm just drawing a complete blank. But anyway, that's not important. Again, do most of my editing on Premiere Pro on a PC, and ultimately I might move back to a Mac. I've been toying with that idea. Been looking at a couple of the Macs, a couple of the mini Macs. There's a couple of versions, and I might still hang in the shadows for that, waiting until there's a better version of that, and then I'll jump back on. But again, basically what I'm saying here, and this lighting is not horrible. I know I'm kind of grainy. I'm out here on my porch. I'm getting light. I'm getting light from over here on my roof light on my porch, and this isn't too bad. I'll see it once I go upstairs and play it. But what I'm doing too is I am doing the dual streaming. I set my version of YouTube so that I can take advantage of the dual stream. So I hopefully that's working. Hopefully I'm going live vertically and I'm going live horizontally. And again, just riffing a little bit here. Started off talking about artificial intelligence video. And again, getting back to that. Yes, I do keep looking back at it over and over. I've been getting some emails from some of the services, some of the paid services I've been using, and obviously they're trying to get me to come back. The Google VO3, I really like that. I've been using, like I said, my favorite is Sora 2, but I don't like the watermarks. And that's another thing. Oh, I want to talk about that. Even when I had the paid version, $200 a month, was it 200? Yeah, $200 a month, I think it was. I couldn't get rid of the watermarks. Now, before I paid and received it, they said that the watermarks may come off, which was kind of a weird way to say it. They should have just told you the watermarks won't move off. And I think it's kind of a dumb idea for them, the way they have the watermarks so prominent. The truth is their software is one of the most realistic versions of the human that I've seen. And I've even created what they have, which I really like, the cameos. I created one for myself. I created one for my brother. If you go to my channel, you'll see it. And I had us doing some singing and and stuff that we really can't do. And it's really phenomenal how the quality is and how realistic it is and how true to your real image that it can copy. So I do like that. And I'm going to continue to follow them closely. Again, like I said, I was watching some videos. I do a lot of research, I call it myself, where I watch videos here on YouTube, technical videos about artificial intelligence. And I mostly tend to watch the ones with the people who are high up in the software, creating it, behind the scenes, that kind of stuff, so that I can gain the knowledge that I don't have and hopefully use some of that knowledge to bring to you guys. I see there's a lot of troubles with OpenAI, who, you know, has ChatGPT and Sora 2, the two things I like the best. And the Sora 2, I don't know what's going to happen because right now, when they're having such money problems, I definitely don't foresee them dumping a lot of money to improve their software. So hopefully, if they do end up abandoning it, I really hate to even say it, maybe that's a portion of the company they can sell. And this is me with no inside knowledge, just sitting here shooting the breeze with you. That would be great if they could sell it to Google, maybe, and they could develop that, continue to develop it, because their VO3 with Google is good. I've used it. Another thing I started to do with VO3, and from watching some videos also, headshots, taking an existing headshot and retouching it. And the one that I've tried a bunch of different AI programs, and there were even some AI programs recently. There was one that went, I forgot the name of the company, but they had created this headshot program that they said would end the need for headshot photographers. That's a lot of hype. I took some headshots that I had and put it into the software, and it brushes it up enough for the casual viewer, but it doesn't have the resolution. It doesn't have the quality. It doesn't have the subtleness of someone doing a manual retouching of a photo. Because when you really look at it, you don't, you can see the flaws in it. I'm sorry for that pause. I just received a text. But anyway, so there's a lot of things tied up with the artificial intelligence right now. And I'm going to keep working at it. I'm going to keep bringing you guys updates and letting you know the real world responses that I'm having. I'm actually working with this software. No hype, nobody sponsoring me. Obviously, I'm just sitting here shooting the breeze with you right now, saying what I'm thinking. And that's how I usually do it. And that's what I think I'm going to continue to do. I might not gain a whole bunch of viewers. I'm over that. I have many subscribers, which I thank you guys for. I'm still working on my watch hours, which are taking me longer than I thought. I still have plans in the works. And actually, I have some people in the works where we're going to start some game shows. I see that's a big area here on YouTube that the viewers also like to watch. And I'm going to jump in there and do a little bit of content creating in that realm. So there's a lot of things in the works. There's a lot of things that I plan to do. I got sidetracked for about a little over 3 months working with this artificial intelligence, creating lots of content. Go to my channel, take a look at some of it. Tell me what you think. Leave some comments in the comments below the videos, and we can start a conversation. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I get a lot of viewer mail. As a matter of fact, yesterday, on the top of my list was to start replying to some of this viewer mail live on these live streams I'm doing. And I think I will do that. I'm going to try to jump on a live stream once or twice. I don't want to get too big for my britches, as they say, right off the top. Maybe once a day or a couple times a week. I'm not going to set any firm schedule like this one I'm doing right now. Obviously, if you're watching, you can see that I don't have much planned out. I'm just getting on here talking. Any comments you want to send me, please feel free to send me comments. Like I said, from now on, what my next step to do, which tomorrow I will do, I'm going to have YouTube Studio open. I'm streaming here from my phone, but I want YouTube Studio open so that I can read the comments, I can answer your questions. And if you have any questions on acting, directing, or editing, that's my primary area of expertise. And I'm slowly building my expertise up in artificial intelligence. I'm working with this nonprofit agency out here. I'm based in California, and I'm working with this nonprofit agency out here. And we're going to start, we're in the early plannings of starting a program for youth, middle school and high school, where we teach them artificial intelligence for creative use and artificial intelligence for business use, because that's where all the work is going. And if you position yourself to be a player, I'm talking about end user. I'm not talking about trying to start any competition for OpenAI or Google or any of that stuff. I'm talking about position yourself as a knowledgeable end user where you can teach others the basics. You're going to be valuable. You're going to be in demand. You're going to be a person that a company needs, because the hype of artificial intelligence right now is overwhelming. It's actually ridiculous. What did I get today? I was asked by a client to do some research for a computer system that for a nonprofit organization where it will be a shared computer system that two or three or four employees can use, and they all have individual logins with passwords, and a system that's powerful enough to be a shared office system, built, one of those new all-in-one. I'm looking at some of the ones from Lenovo, and I really find those interesting. But it's all built in one system, and the employees will be able to share it. They'll be able to log in. They'll be able to put their content. We will have a physical local shared drive, but the main drive and where all the content will go will be in a Google system. So Google has some great deals for nonprofits to have shared systems where you can store your content up on the Google Cloud, and you have free access, and you don't have to worry about duplicating content, because the system will be able to tell if something's already up there, and it's all shared content. So you won't have duplicate. This agency is going to be dealing with a lot of video also. and content creation. So we won't have a lot of duplicate projects up there taking up space. But we will have a local area shared, which I think is a great idea. I'm a firm believer in having multiple systems for the content you create where you can back stuff up. And the local one might just be the final projects. So I haven't worked out all the details from that, but I'm working on that. So I'm looking into these all-in-one systems, which offices appear to like right now. They don't want to have the big CPU under the desk anymore, you know, and the separate monitor on the desk. They want to streamline stuff. So I like that idea, and that's some systems I'm helping them set up. But that's where we're going to be doing some of the AI programs for the youth. Drinking some of my warm water. So yeah, again, the AI, I'm not abandoning it. No. I still like it. I still think it's useful. I just think it's way too early. When I first started, I didn't fully understand its limitations. What's that old saying Clint Eastwood had? A man's got to know his limitations. I didn't know the limitations of artificial intelligence, video generation. And now I see it. And again, it's not ready to do any really professional stuff of what I would consider professional, where you can control the actor, you can get these emotions, you can get reactions, you can get cut-ins, cutaways, and you're not wasting your time endlessly doing prompts over and over and over and over again. And each one changes just a little. You get something right that you want, and then all of a sudden there's another character standing in the frame, or the character that you're working on does what you wanted to do, but all of a sudden now he or she has two hands on one arm. So it's kind of crazy stuff. I remember I worked one day trying to get this one scene where a character was walking through a parking garage, and it was driving me batty, complete batty. I don't know how much content. Oh yeah, I have tried some open art. Thank you. Someone gave me a comment. Yeah, I have tried some of the open art, and it worked to some degree, but I still had some of the same problems there. Again, like I said, I really started using Sora 2. A friend of mine had recommended it to me at the very beginning, and I was just blown away by the realism of the characters, and I kind of stuck with that. And all the other characters that I go to, all the other systems that I go to, I haven't come across any that I feel are that realistic. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of stuck with that. But I've even started mixing. I even started mixing VO3, Grok. Who's the other one? Earlier version of VO from Google with Sora, and trying to develop the characters, and they're actually mixing them in and blending them together and cutting them together. So I've tried a lot of different stuff, and like I said, I enjoy it. I like the control. Okay, I just got a message from my agent, and so I'm going to have to stop rambling. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to stop. Again, I'm an actor also, so when I get a hot message from my agent, I have to answer right away. I'm streaming from my phone. So I will see you tomorrow. And don't worry, I'll tell you what the message was. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to check out this message from my agent and see what they have. I just submitted on 3 projects yesterday, so maybe I have a callback. I'm not sure, or it could be a new project. And we'll continue this saga of artificial intelligence. And again, I kind of enjoy this, just sitting here venting to you guys. But what I'm going to do to make it a little more not a one-way street, I'm going to have my iPad open, and I'm going to have YouTube Studio open. So I'll be able to read your comments. And as soon as I get a comment, or as soon as I get a question, or as soon as I get anything, I will respond to that. I'll stop what I'm blabbering about, and I will respond to you. Because that's what I want this to be. I want this conversation to be a conversation. I don't want it just to be me rambling. But as you can tell, I love to ramble. So if I have to ramble, I'll just ramble. But so I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to check out my message from my agent. And you guys have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh.